Imagine a mother so desperate for money that she convinces her own children to murder their stepfather. A man who gave them everything, his home, his wealth, his love, only to be repaid with bullets in a cold, calculated execution. This isn't just a crime, it's betrayal at its absolute worst. But here's the most disturbing part. The mastermind behind it all almost got away. Merrillville, Indiana, an ordinary town where John Parker, a hardworking businessman, built an empire from scratch, selling vacuum cleaners door to door until he was a self-made millionaire. At just 30 years old, he had it all: financial success, a booming business, and a family to share it with. But what John didn't know was that his wife, Judy, was keeping a deadly secret. On the night of April 17, 2003, John lay bleeding outside his own company, J&J Parker Industries, shot execution style. His wife's frantic 911 call painted a picture of a violent robbery. His wallet missing, an unknown gunman vanishing into the night. But something was off. His expensive watch remained untouched. And Judy's reaction? Let's just say it wasn't the reaction of a grieving widow. As detectives dug deeper, they uncovered a truth more disturbing than they could have imagined. Judy's children, Christina and Danny, had tried to hire hitmen before. And when that failed, they took matters into their own hands, pulling the trigger on the very man who had raised them. But why? Why would two teenagers conspire with their own mother to murder their stepfather? The answer lay in greed. A $1 million life insurance payout, and a web of lies spun by Judy, painting John as a monster who needed to be eliminated. Judy played the victim, but she wasn't fooling anyone. The police uncovered everything: every failed murder attempt, every manipulative conversation, every disturbing plan. And in the end, the so-called grieving widow was revealed for what she really was: a cold-blooded orchestrator of her husband's execution. But was justice really served? What happened to the children who were roped into this brutal scheme? And how did one mother manage to turn her own family into killers? Stay with me as we uncover the shocking truth behind the murder of John Parker. A crime so twisted, so deeply disturbing, it will leave you questioning just how far people will go for money. Welcome to True Crime Alibi, the channel where real-life mysteries, betrayals, and crimes come to life with chilling detail. If you're fascinated by shocking true crime cases and the dark secrets hiding behind ordinary lives, you're in the right place. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss a story that will leave you questioning everything you thought you knew about human nature. Today's case is one of the most disturbing family betrayals imaginable. A story of greed, deception, and murder orchestrated by the one person who should have been the protector, not the predator. Let's get into it. John Parker was the embodiment of success through hard work. He was born in a modest home in Merrillville, Indiana, and from a young age he understood that nothing in life came easy. He worked tirelessly in his early years, selling Kirby vacuum cleaners door to door, mastering the art of persuasion. What began as a grueling, thankless job turned into a million-dollar enterprise as John's dedication and natural business acumen helped him establish J&J Parker Industries. John wasn't just a businessman, he was a family man. When he met Judy, a single mother of two, he didn't hesitate to step into the role of stepfather for Christina and Danny. He provided them with everything: private school education, expensive vacations, and a stable home life. Those who knew John described him as generous, patient, and deeply committed to ensuring his family never struggled the way he once had. But as we know, sometimes generosity isn't enough to buy loyalty. Do you think success can make someone a target even in their own home? Let me know in the comments. Judy Parker was not your typical devoted wife. From the outside she played the part well, a loving partner and doting mother. But those who knew her personally saw something different. She was obsessed with wealth, status, and control. Unlike John, who found satisfaction in hard work, Judy sought shortcuts to financial freedom, often maxing out credit cards, borrowing money, and demanding more than John could comfortably provide. To Judy, the idea of having it all meant never worrying about money again, and John's million-dollar life insurance policy was the key. But how do you eliminate a husband without getting caught? That's where manipulation came in. Judy spent years planting seeds of distrust in her children's minds. She told Christina and Danny that John was going to leave them, that he was cruel and controlling, and that their only escape was through his death. It didn't happen overnight, it was a slow, calculated poisoning of their perception. And eventually her children believed her. Have you ever seen someone manipulate others so subtly that they don't even realize it's happening? Share your thoughts in the comments below. April 17, 2003, was supposed to be just another evening for John Parker. He had spent the entire day working at J&J Parker Industries and was exhausted as he stepped into the parking lot to leave. Little did he know he would never make it home that night. As he walked to his car, 2 gunshots shattered the silence. John collapsed, bleeding onto the pavement. The shooter didn't run immediately, they stood there watching him suffer. And then, just as quickly as they had appeared, they disappeared into the shadows. Minutes later, a 911 call came in. Was Judy? Her voice was shaking, her words frantic. She claimed she had heard gunshots and ran outside to find John lying on the ground, his wallet missing. A robbery, she insisted. But something didn't add up. John's expensive watch was still on his wrist. Why would a thief take a wallet and leave behind an item worth thousands? And why was Judy's reaction so rehearsed? Police officers at the scene would later recall that her grief felt forced, as if she was trying too hard to play the part of a devastated widow. What do you think? Can you tell when someone is faking grief? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Investigators immediately found inconsistencies in Judy's story. Surveillance footage showed no signs of a struggle, and there were no reports of suspicious individuals near the business that night. The missing wallet theory quickly fell apart when the police found John's credit card still untouched. Whoever had done this wasn't after money, they were after him. As they dug deeper, police discovered shocking information. Judy had tried to have John killed before. She had approached multiple people, offering them large sums of money to murder her husband. But each time the would-be hitmen either backed out or she failed to come up with the payment. Realizing she couldn't rely on outsiders, Judy turned to the 2 people she knew she could manipulate, Christina and Danny. Through phone records and witness testimony, investigators uncovered messages between Judy and her children discussing different ways to carry out the murder. It was clear, this wasn't a heat-of-the-moment crime. It was premeditated. Have you ever seen a case where the evidence was so overwhelming that there was no way out? Let me know below. When confronted with the evidence, Danny was the first to break. He admitted that Judy had convinced them that John was a monster, that they had no choice but to kill him. He described how Judy had controlled their every move, feeding them lies until they believed murder was their only option. Judy Parker was arrested and charged with conspiracy to commit murder. She received 33 years in prison. Danny, who pulled the trigger, was sentenced to 23 years but was released in 2016. Christina, the youngest, was sentenced to 5 years. She was released in 2013 but tragically died of a drug overdose years later. Do you believe the children were victims in this case, or should they have faced harsher consequences? Share your opinions in the comments. So let's break it down. John Parker, a successful businessman and a loving stepfather, was gunned down in cold blood. His wife, Judy, manipulated her own children into believing that his death was their only way out. And for a while they thought they had gotten away with it. But in the end, greed left a trail of evidence that led straight back to them. This case is a chilling reminder that sometimes, the biggest threat isn't from a stranger, it's from the people closest to you. If you found this case as shocking as I did, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into true crime's most twisted cases. Next time we're uncovering another shocking case, a murder so methodically planned, it left investigators baffled for years. Stay tuned, you won't want to miss it.